Do we have an appointment?
If you ignore my messages, you leave me no choice but to drop in unannounced.
Okay, I gotta be somewhere. I gotta see Dante.
While I am extremely sympathetic to your current and emotionally complex domestic difficulties, my job is to defend you against the charge of murdering your wife, and to remind you that if you insist on admitting that you killed Claudia, you will almost certainly be found guilty.
Don't bother trying to undermine your own recovery.
And why would I do something like that?
To keep yourself off the witness stand? I don't care if we have to wheel you into that courtroom on a hospital bed. You will testify against your father.
Good morning, wife. Congratulations. Your Valentine promotion worked like a charm. All that free champagne got the crowd drunk enough to think that they were in love. And so sloppy, they were big fat losers at the tables. We raked in the dough. Oh, keep those ideas coming in.
Elizabeth's pregnant. Nicholas and Lucky having a civil conversation at the hospital. I figured something must have happened, so I did some snooping.
Details.
Lucky found Elizabeth collapsed in some little church in the woods.
Mount Hebron.
They brought her into the hospital for hypothermia, and they ran some routine blood work, and voila, she's pregnant, and I'm assuming she doesn't know who the father is.
Why would you assume that?
Because she took her troubles to the roof of the hospital.
She was on the roof?
An orderly saw Lucky bringing her back in.
Poor kid. How is she now?
I don't know. Lucky stayed with her.
You're a pain in the ass, Diane. You're expensive, and you know how I feel about you and Max, but nobody is better at what you do, and I got 100% confidence that you're going to take care of the situation.
Even though Michael already tried to confess to the police.
Mac didn't believe him, and Michael's not going to have to pay for this. I am.
Okay. That means I have to sell the jury on self-defense.
Okay.
Even though the victim was your wife, and Claudia was smaller and weaker than you, and you threatened her at her birthday party, no less, only hours before she disappeared.
Claudia was out of control.
Because you provoked her in front of a room full of witnesses.
Yeah, and all those witnesses saw her waving a gun around, right? She took a hostage.
A former Mrs. Corinthos 4 times over. This is not going to go well for you, Sonny. And then, naturally, you have to go and complicate things even further when you destroyed evidence, when you burned down a cabin, when you swore that you didn't know what could possibly have happened to poor Claudia until a deranged artist with an international reputation humiliates the PCPD by finding her body when they could not.
Are you trying to defend me or convict me?
I'm just saying, Sonny, that you are asking me to jog up Mount Everest in a pair of sensible pumps. And even if I could do that, we're not going to win. Because the detective who spent months piecing together this case, it will most certainly testify against you. That's that detective being your son, whom you shot at point-blank range in the chest.
Dante says he shot himself.
He's lying to protect you. It doesn't matter because the evidence that Detective Falconeri has collected is now a matter of record, and Dante can't just wave it away with the fairy tale that he shot himself accidentally. All the jury is going to see is that your son is willing to testify against you. And Dante has every reason to believe that you're guilty. He's built up an excellent case. His testimony alone should send you to prison for the rest of your life.
One of the many perks of being invited to resign is I don't have to pretend to respect you anymore. I could care less what you have to say. I work for the PCPD now.
Well, there's a step up. Congratulations.
Yeah, so whatever you have to say to me, you can talk to Commissioner Scorpio.
Your father is facing federal charges. That falls under various RICO statutes. That makes the case in my jurisdiction. You were the lead detective in the Claudia Corinthos murder investigation. Yet when he shot you in the chest, you covered for him. You said you accidentally shot yourself. I need to know you won't pull a similar stunt in court.
What, you want to hear it? Fine, I fell for Sonny's mobster with a heart of gold routine, okay? My partner warned me about it. I didn't listen. I delayed the arrest so that I didn't upset the family. I put myself in Sonny's living room face to face with no backup. So whatever happened in that room is on me. As far as Claudia's trial goes, you don't have to worry about anything, all right? Because I want Sonny prosecuted to the furthest extent of the law.
See that you do. Because if you don't, if you decide to pull a similar stunt of sentimental amnesia for your dear old dad on the witness stand, being shot in the chest will be the least of your concerns. I will fall on you like the wrath of God. Do we understand each other?
Yo! Wrath of God. You understand this? You back off my kid right now or I will file the loudest, messiest, most public lawsuit that the FBI has ever seen. You hear me? I will go crying to the media. I will zap it all over the internet. I will stand in front of every single solitary camera that I can find, and I will shout harassment, abuse of power, and misappropriation of federal funds. And if that's not enough, I will make it my personal mission in life to see your ass busted so far down the line that you can't get a job as a dog catcher. Okay, check that. Assistant dog catcher.
Wow.
Agent Rayner, you've met my mother.
It's nice to see you again. I believe when last we talked, you tried to blackmail me.
Yes, that would be the day that you lied to my face and then you deliberately put my kid in harm's way. And now here you are, harassing him again. It's unacceptable, Rayner, in every possible way. And if you don't back off my son, I happen to be very good friends with the best attorney and the whole
I know. I heard you.
You're on thin ice, Rayner. My mother never makes threats she can't back up, and her follow-through is pretty legendary.
Yes, well, I'm not intimidated by the mother courage routine.
You might want to rethink that.
Before you think about smearing me in the media, Miss Falconeri, you might consider how bad that will make you look, considering you're on the witness list for the Claudia Corinthos murder trial. You didn't know that, did you?
I don't have to answer to you.
Perhaps not. But you are material to the Claudia Corinthos trial. Not only did you see Sonny leave his house on the night his wife died, but you were deeply involved in planning the Metro Court party. You may well have had prior knowledge to Sonny's plan to kill his wife.
Whoa, my mother had nothing to do with that, and you know it.
You knew that Sonny was Dante's father. And when this case was about to break, you attempted to use your little secret to undermine the entire investigation.
I was just trying to protect my son.
You tried to blackmail me, and you know it. And now you're still angry, and you'll go to any attempts to retaliate. I strongly advise you to tell the truth and nothing but the truth, or you will be in a great deal of trouble.
Whoa, you need to back off, all right? And leave my mother out of this. Otherwise, I'll develop the worst case of sentimental amnesia you've ever seen. I'll forget anything and everything about this case, and you'll be left with nothing. Okay, so you leave my mother alone.
Isn't it a great